Alexander Knight was known as a man of power. To the world, he was untouchable, an empire builder, a tycoon whose name was etched in magazines and business journals. But behind the thick walls of his mansion, he was just a broken father. His daughter Emily, the light of his life, was slipping away. At only 7 years old, she carried a disease that even the finest hospitals couldn't cure. Only a few months left, the doctor said, and those words replayed in his head every night like a curse. Money had always solved his problems, but this time, money was useless. He had watched his daughter grow weaker with each passing day, her once rosy cheeks pale, her little voice softer than a whisper. He prayed for miracles but only received silence in return. When Clara arrived, no one expected her to make any difference. She wasn't the kind of nanny one would imagine working for a millionaire. She had no degree from an elite university, no polished resume filled with prestigious families she had worked for. She was simple, gentle, almost too fragile-looking herself. But something about her eyes, the kindness in them, the strength hidden beneath the softness, made Emily reach for her hand immediately. "Stay with me," Emily had said on their very first meeting. Alexander had stood in the corner, stunned. His daughter had rejected 3 professional nannies before her, yet here she was clinging to a stranger like she had known her forever. It was as if Emily's little heart recognized the love Clara carried. Clara settled into the mansion quietly. She never acted impressed by the wealth surrounding her. Marble floors, chandeliers, luxury cars, none of it mattered. What mattered to her was Emily's smile. Every morning, she woke up earlier than anyone else, preparing little surprises for the girl, painting pictures, baking small cookies, or creating games to distract her from the pain. Emily, who had spent weeks lying in silence, now giggled so much that her laughter echoed through the mansion's empty halls. The maids whispered about the miracle the new nanny had brought, and even the butler, who had worked for Alexander for decades, admitted he hadn't seen Emily this alive in years. But Alexander struggled with emotions he couldn't name. He watched Clara from a distance, suspicious at first. Was this just kindness for a paycheck? Or was there something genuine in the way she cradled Emily when she coughed, the way she stayed awake through the night when the child had fevers, singing lullabies even when her voice cracked with exhaustion? He didn't understand it, but what he did understand was this: for the first time, his home felt alive. His daughter wasn't just existing anymore, she was living. And that gave him hope, even if he feared it was temporary. One evening, Alexander returned home earlier than usual. He walked past the living room and froze. Emily was sitting on the couch, a blanket around her shoulders, with Clara beside her. They were painting together, Emily's small, trembling hands guided gently by Clara's. "What are you making?" Clara asked softly. Emily replied with a weak smile, "A rainbow. Because Mommy is waiting under one in heaven." Clara's eyes shimmered with tears, but she smiled through them and said, "Then let's make the brightest rainbow she's ever seen." Alexander's throat tightened, and he had to step away before they noticed his tears. Nights, however, were the hardest. Emily would sometimes wake in the dark, coughing, afraid. Alexander often stood outside her door, unable to go in because he couldn't bear to see her suffering. He felt useless, powerless. But Clara never hesitated. She would rush to Emily's side, holding her hand, whispering gentle words until the child calmed. Sometimes Emily would ask, "Will I see Mommy in heaven?" The question pierced Alexander's heart like a knife. He couldn't answer. But Clara always found the right words. "Your mommy loves you so much, Emily. Whether here on earth or in heaven, love never disappears. And she'll always be with you." Those words comforted Emily enough to fall back asleep, her tiny fingers clutching Clara's hand tightly. Slowly, Alexander began spending more time at home. Work no longer seemed as important. He found himself lingering in the kitchen while Clara baked cupcakes with Emily, or sitting silently in the garden watching them chase butterflies. He noticed things he had missed before, the way Emily's laughter made the flowers seem brighter, the way Clara's presence filled every corner with warmth. Something deep inside him shifted, though he tried to hide it. He was falling not just into gratitude, but into awe of the woman who was giving his daughter a reason to keep fighting. But even in the light Clara brought, shadows remained. Doctors reminded Alexander that Emily's time was short. Every test result, every report, was a cruel reminder of reality. He wanted to scream, to buy more time with his fortune, but nothing worked. And yet, every time he saw Emily smiling with Clara, he dared to hope. Maybe miracles didn't come from hospitals. Maybe they came from hearts like Clara's.